Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Drill Sergeant's Time with Drill Sergeant E. Today, we're going to be covering the ACFT, what the minimum standards are, the maximum standards for your age and your gender. Here we go. All right, so if you take a look at the screen, this picture here is the ACFT events in order, okay? So one is the 3-rep hex bar deadlift. It's your max weight for 3 reps. And then you move on to the standing power throw with the 10-pound medicine ball. And then you do the hand release push-ups for as many repetitions as you can in 2 minutes. And then you move on to the sprint drag carry, going just down and back. We'll go through the events. Okay, right now we're just labeling them. And then you go into the plank, and then you end it with the 2-mile run. So those are the events in order that I'm going to cover today for the ACFT. All right, so what's going to happen is you're going to get it's your ACFT card. This card has to go with you to all of your events. It's going to keep track of your score and your attempts, your pass or fail, and you're going to turn it at the end, and that's how you're going to get your final score. So make sure you hang on to this throughout the entire process. All right, here we go. All right, so your first event in the ACFT is the max deadlift, the 3 repetitions with the hex bar, okay? The score is based off male, female, and your age group, okay? So males from ages 17 up to 46, your max weight is a 340. For females, 22 to, 36, you're rocking a 230 for the max. That should really be all you care about, okay? So your first attempt should be at a lower weight that you know for a fact you can get. So if you don't know for sure if you can hit 340, let's start with like a 300 or a 310. Make sure we get the 3 reps and then jump up to that 340. If we can't do that, let's game it a little bit. Make sure we get the points that we know we can get, and then jump up to that max weight. The second event of the ACFT is a standing power throw. Okay, 10-pound medicine ball. All right, your heels are on a line. You take the ball, you throw it over your head behind you. Okay, you want to time the throw roughly at your forehead level. Okay, and you want to kind of flick the wrist when you throw it. If you throw it too late, it's going to go straight behind you. You're not going to get a far throw. If you throw it too soon, it's going to go really, really high. But it's going to have no power behind it, so it's not going to go far. Okay, so the next slide or picture is going to show the standards for the men and women and that age group. Okay, your goal should always be 100%. Don't settle for the minimum. Go for the max. The next event is the hand release push-up. Okay, this is one of the big changes that came to the PT test, right? Because it used to just be normal push-ups. Now you have the hand release push-up. So you start in the down position, you go up, you go down like a normal push-up, and then you take your arms and you put them out to your sides as if forming a T with your body, okay? And then you bring them back in underneath your armpits and you push up. All right, that's 1 repetition. You have to do as many of those as you can in 2 minutes. Simple as that, okay? On the next slide, I'll show you what the mins and maxes are for each gender and age group. All right, so looking at the chart here, right? The men's and maxes for the men's, women's based off of your age group, right? So you obviously don't want to go for the men. But if you suck at push-ups during the time of the ACFT, the minimum is what you have to have to pass to get any points, right? If you score anything less than a 60%, you get 0 points. So 60 and above gives you points. Your goal is 100% every time, okay? That should be your goal no matter what the event is, 100%. The next event is the sprint drag carry. This is the smoker of the PT test. This is what really makes or breaks you throughout this PT event. As you can see here, the men's and maxes for male and female per age group for the sprint drag carry. Okay. Again, we're only focusing on the maxes. All right. But if you really suck at the freaking sprint drag carry, the bottom of the page shows you the 60%. That's the minimum you can get to pass. All right. But to be a stud, you got to hit those maxes, the hunters. Those are your goals. All right. Check them out. Let me know what you think. All right. So the next event is probably the newest change to the ACFT. Okay. It used to be the leg tuck, but they were finding that a lot of people were failing it. So they switched it up to the timed plank. Okay. It's literally just elbows, toes, back straight 4 times, as long as you can. Your max time, I'm going to show in the next chart. It's not a hard event, but you got to work your core to be able to max it, okay? So your men's maxes are on the next chart. It's a pretty simple one. It's a core. And last but not least is the 2-mile run, okay? It's the exact same thing as it was during the PT test, original PT test, right? But now you're adding roughly 30 seconds to a minute to your time because of all of the other events, right? The men's and maxes are on the next chart. Nothing has changed for the actual PT event. The times changed a little bit, but the actual 2-mile run is still just a 2-mile run. All right, so some frequently asked questions that we get a lot, okay? How do we grade the ACFT, right? So we set the field up prior to. It's already going to have the weights out there. Everything's going to be set up for you. All you have to do is show up, do the exercise, right? That's it. So when we grade the deadlift, okay, we are watching to make sure you don't move your hands. You get one readjustment. That's it. If you move your hands again, it doesn't count. Okay. If you slam the weights down on the deadlift, it doesn't count. Okay. If the bar slides forward or back and it becomes uneven, we don't count it. Okay. 3 repetitions. That's all it takes. All right. Come to the ball throw. What's going to no-go you on the ball throw is literally if your heels cross the line. You can throw your ball outside the lane. We're still going to count it. Okay. But if your heels cross the freaking line that you're not supposed to cross, that's an automatic 0. Okay, you can get a 0, but you can do a third attempt. Okay, so you can kind of game that, like, oh no, I stepped on the line, I need a third throw. Okay, so some questions on the sprint drag carry, right? What order does it go in? That's a big one that we get at the beginning, right? So you start in the front linear rest with your head behind the line. As soon as we say go, you get up, you run down as fast as you can. You sprint, your hand and foot touch the backside of the line. You sprint back. When you sprint back, you grab the ropes from the sled and you walk backwards, carrying both one handle in each hand. Sled crosses the line and then it comes back all the way back to the line. As soon as you cross that line, you side hop all the way down. Your hand and foot must cross the line and touch the ground, and you side hop back. Do not cross your feet, okay? Once you get back to the starting line, you pick up 2 45-pound kettlebells and you run all the way across the line. Your foot must cross the line. Come back, set the kettlebells down. Don't slam them down. Don't throw them down. Set the kettlebells down, okay? And then sprint down as fast as you can. Hand and foot touches the line. Sprint back. Time stops as soon as you're done. All right, so the hand release push-up is a big one, okay? Because drills are usually historically pretty picky on form of a push-up. And a lot of trainers get upset with the drill sergeants because they're like, oh, I did like 85 push-ups, but you only counted 30. Okay, it's because your back, if your back doesn't stay parallel to the marching surface the entire time, we're not going to count it. If you're waving like a worm, we're not going to count it, right? Your hands have to go all the way out, all the way back in, underneath the armpits. If they don't come in all the way, we're not going to count it. Form is important on the sprint drag carry. So if you mess that up, you're going to get a 0. We're just going to say 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0. You're just not going to get them. That's just all there is to it. Keep your back straight, and it all raises as 1. If you start doing this, 0. All right, you got all the tips, you got all the tricks to the ACFT. You know what to expect when you get there. You have no freaking excuse not to max this PT test. Go out there, push it, crush it. I want to see 600s across the board.